Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Money Works For Me podcast. This is Aditya and I'll be your host for today's episode. We are recording this session on October 14, 2021. In today's podcast, we are going to discuss about another company from IT sector. IT sector, which forms around 10% of the India's GDP, is a major portion of export revenue. The sector is favored by the market since the move towards digitalization has accelerated from the start of pandemic. To know more about IT sector, you can listen to our previous podcast on persistent systems. There we have discussed about IT sector in detail. To discuss our views, I have our equity analyst Rushikesh Bise with me. Welcome Rushikesh.
Thanks Aditya.
So Rushikesh, coming to today's topic, let us dive into another of our winner stock from IT space, Birlasoft Limited. We recommended this company back in July 2020 at 118 rupees per share and today it is trading at 430. So can you throw some light on how did you spot this company and why?
So Birlasoft came to our notice when it merged with KPIT's IT services business. So together with KPIT's arm, Birlasoft achieved much needed scale to win bigger deals and pursue growth strategy. So KPIT's IT services clients complemented Birlasoft's client base, which provided the much needed client diversification and good cross-selling opportunities to the company. So this made the company worth looking at for us.
Alright, what were the financials look like and how did you foresee the future growth?
So the financials were not as straightforward because Birlasoft was a very smaller entity and also an unlisted one. So we couldn't use the past financial track records. So when we checked the merged entity financials, the size of the company was at par with peers like Persistent or Cyient in terms of the top line. And when we looked at Birlasoft, its margin profile was inferior to its peers like Persistent System, Mindtree, and this was due to the lack of scale till that instance. So talking of Birlasoft, it had 10,000 employees generating sales of about 3,200 crores. And this sale was predominantly generated from fixed price annuity business. What made really Birlasoft stand out versus the other small and mid cap IT companies is its client and sector diversification. So small and mid-sized IT companies have these typical characteristics of having a few big-sized clients from a particular sector. So this makes their business dependent on those clients and that sector, and this increases the business risk. We recently had seen this risk panning out in case of Cyient, where its major client Boeing was in trouble, causing the problem in Cyient's business. So Birlasoft had a sufficient diversification in terms of clients as well as the sectors, which reduced its business risk. So if I remember correctly, to give you numbers, the top 5 clients of Birlasoft formed only 28% of its overall revenue, whereas it's about 40% for the companies like Persistent or Tata Elxsi. Now the management was pursuing growth with robust deal wins quarter after quarter, even before COVID slowdown created more opportunities for IT companies. And we expected growth to improve margin profile and bring it at par with the other IT peers. So this gave us comfort to consider this company.
Okay, so this is about its existing business. Did you see anything changing in its business dynamics like you saw with Persistent?
We did see the hunger for growth of the management post-merger with the KPIT IT services. So the company focused on cross-selling opportunities and focused on the micro verticals and upselling the multiple services to the existing customers. So they had like 200 clients to whom they only sold one service line, and they planned to start cross-selling services to get the larger deals. They started winning larger deals which allowed them to target higher margin and cost benefits from the operating leverage. Later in the following months, while we were still seeing after our buy recommendation, the management gave an ambitious target of $1 billion revenue in next 5 years. So this only added to our optimism on the company. Plus we didn't see any further restructuring happening in the business. So we saw such kind of developments happening in the business of the company.
That sounds interesting. So considering all these good things, Did you find the valuation comfortable or say cheap enough to consider it buying?
Yeah, valuation is one of the important things before we consider an investment. So, Birlasoft traded at a PE of 10x on its FY20 earnings. Like we discussed, FY20 margins were low versus its peers, and if these margins were to match peers, we were buying company at like 5 to 7 P. So another way to spot IT companies is using price to sales ratio. You would have seen many IT companies like Hexaware, Mphasis, Mindtree got acquired at 2 to 2.5x its price to sales in the past. So Birlasoft was like at 0.8x at that instance. And the median price to sales ratio for the small cap IT company was about 1.25x. So we found that valuation quite cheap versus the peers. Then we believe that Birlasoft, after achieving scales and cross-selling new offers to the existing customers, could offer good growth opportunities. So the growth, we expected it to be higher than the industry growth rate due to its smaller size advantage. And we basically found a growth stock at a value price, an ideal combination for the potential multi-bagger.
Okay. With this cheap valuation, what were the risks involved in buying Birlasoft at a price of 120 rupees per share?
Yes, of course, there were a few risks involved. So the company had impressive plans for the future, but can they execute it that well was the question, which in a way is true for many small cap companies. And the another risk is resource management, which hurts margins. If a project gets over or a client quits, the resource must be allocated quickly to the another project, or else you risk hurting your margins because you cannot fire your employees. Other common risks were the US visa related and the currency risk, which is common for like all IT companies. So yeah, these were all the risks we saw then. Thankfully, they didn't pan out.
So Rishikesh, even though I know the answer, I still want to ask you this question. Did you expect Birlasoft to become your multi-bagger stock?
My answer is the same as it was for the Persistent Systems. We follow fundamental investing and believe in buying good quality companies at reasonable price, preferably at a discount to the fair value. So according to our faith, we bought this company below its fair price, focused on right levers, and it paid off. Now certainly our buy on Birlasoft was not thinking that it would go 4x from our buying. But since the changes were significant, we did believe that the stock would deliver our target return of 15% plus CAGR. So we kept recommending buy till like 250 per share, and that is still we saw more than 15% CAGR as the company results delivered as per our expectations. And again, as I said in the Persistent Systems, the tailwinds in IT sectors were a surprise as the COVID simply accelerated the demand for IT services. The adoption of cloud and digital infrastructure in hurry, this only benefited the Indian IT services companies. So as per our process, even if we did not have COVID-led tailwind in IT sector, we would have still earned healthy returns in Birlasoft because we bought it at a cheap valuation and there were major changes happening in the company back then.
Okay, so what is your current stance on Birlasoft?
So Aditya, at the current juncture, we are seeing continuation of growth in demand and deal flows for the IT companies. So we do remain optimistic on IT services space. However, we are a little cautious on the valuations going forward. We foresee risks to the margins as the employee attrition has increased and the wage growth can delay the timeline of expected margin expansions. Buying cheap gives us comfort, but we are happy to hold at least the partial allocation for upside surprises. So we do not recommend fresh buying at such current levels as these valuations could disappoint.
Alright, thank you very much Rishikesh for joining us and sharing your valuable inputs. To all our listeners, you can subscribe to our podcast channel either on Google, Spotify or YouTube to get more updates like this. Till then, happy investing.